Welcome back to Adventure Bound. On today's video, we're going to be exploring the pyramids located in Lima, Peru. These pyramids were in the middle of a busy city. It was crazy going up to them, walking past regular buildings, and then just out of nowhere you come up on a pyramid. The pyramids were so big you could even see them easily from Google Earth. In this video, you'll see a full tour guide of the entire pyramid, including the culture and all the steps that went into building it. We saw a bunch of cool stuff and even got to climb to the top of the pyramid. At the top of the pyramid, they discovered hidden rooms where they would bury baby mummies. There's a bunch of cool stuff in this video, so make sure to stay tuned for the whole thing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Culture was Inca culture. But in this case, I'm going to talk about Lima culture. And Lima was 1,000 years for Inca culture, between 200 to 700 after Christ. In this culture, Lima was a farmers, players, and agriculture people. The first god, the first divinity for they was the ocean, the sea. But the ocean was represented with the shark, the fish. Second divinity for they was the moon. So hypothesis belief was probably this culture Lima was a matriarchal society. Who dominated this case was women, female. And it was only a temple, and they used this temple for prayer, for rituals, and ceremonies too. The name of this temple is Huaca Pucllana, but what means Huaca Pucllana? These are two words in Quechua, and Huaca Pucllana means place to play. This was a temple, and this temple in the first moment had 19 acres. Now there's only 6 acres. Why 6 for the buildings? This temple Huaca Pucllana in that moment was divided into parts. That is the low part or lower part, that is lower, and that was the administrative area. And behind you see the pyramid. And that pyramid is the religious or ceremonial area. You need to know inside that pyramid, only compact. No rooms, no windows, no access, solid. Nowadays, you see this pyramid is irregular too much. Irregular. What's happening here? First, you need to know how was this pyramid in that moment, okay? We believe was probably similar a wedding cake, party cake, rectangular, okay? With 7 levels. Similar steps. These levels, 2, 3, 4 meters or levels, okay? With a stucco or last step, and then was painted with yellow color. For the yellow, they used limonite. This is the mineral name. Flat on the top, first 36 meters, nowadays 24. And now, what happened? Because you see, nowadays it's irregular. Before this year, before 1981, this old temple Huaca Pucllana was similar to hills or mountains. And before this year, some people used this area for play football, used for motocross, throw the garbage. We had some families who was living on the top in his houses. So imagine how was damaged stable inside. For that, nowadays this pyramid is irregular to mind. In 1981, we start with excavation. But you need to know, not finished yet. We are still excavating. And it's probably we are going to finish in the next 40 more years. Now, the question is, this pyramid is solid, obviously, yes. But what was the finality in that moment? Was probably the priest was living on the top. And the priest on the top supervised how was working the people here. So the ocean, you know the ocean? The ocean is near here. And I told you the ocean was the first divinity for the divinity. On the top, he or she saw the rituals. What kinds of rituals? For example, you see that square? That square? The name of that is the sacrifice. Because in that square were found the number 8 bodies, women who was killed, who was sacrificed. These women was between 12 to 25 years old, fertile and elite. How was killed? How was sacrificed? People throw stones and then throw spears. Why women? Why not was men in this case? Because women represent the fertility. You need to know in that epoch, in that time, part of the city, Lima city, was a desert area. And you need to know too, in this city, Lima, no rain, only drizzle. 10 millimeters a year. For that, they believe, okay, if we sacrifice more women, it's going to give more fertility for that earth, for the soil, for the ground, for the Pachamama. For that, in this case, these people live a culture sacrifice women, because I told you women represent the fertility. Okay? So you need to know too, this temple, Huaca Bujana, was built with small bricks, you see. The name of that mud brick is adobito, is adobe, is clay. You see that adobitos are in vertical position. And we call in general bookshelf technique. Bookshelf, because you know, is similar a library bookcase. 80% is original and 20 is restoration. We don't have reconstruction. Okay? So now please, we need to go to the next area. You have so now, I told you before the name of this mud brick is adobito, remember? And I told you these adobitos are in vertical position and we call in general bookshelf technique. So in this case, please, you need to know, in this city, in Lima city, the most of the time we have small tremors. We had some earthquake. For that, these people used some technique for this earthquake not affect this temple. For example, in this case, they put, in this case, the mortar or glue, they put only here and here. Between you see a space. Yes, what happened when the tremors start? These adobitos are flexible, move. Yes, no collapse. Other technique that you see in this case, you see behind the first line, you see in some case, some adobitos in different position. In some case you see in this position, and in other case in that position. What happened here? Now produce the domino effect. Okay? The other technique that is what used, if you see, the walls are, and the shape is trapezoidal. Yes, in this case, give stability when the tremor starts.
Yep.
And in this case, other time, these people Lima culture used to do important rituals. In this case, we found other time 3 and 0, 30 bodies, women who was killed with the same way, through stone and spears, for the same finality, for the fertility, because we represent that. Nowadays, we rent this area for concerts, for parties, for public meetings, because this museum, Huancaveliana, self-finance. So now please you have time for photos and then we need to go to the top, okay? Take your photos now.
Dude, this is crazy.
So in this case, please, I told you before, 1981, this old temple was similar to hills or mountains. You see that area? That is the part that nowadays is in excavation. Okay? So imagine in that moment the old temple was similar to that. For that, some people use motocross because they believe this was a sand dome. Okay? So we need to go to the top this way with me, please.
composición de los muros, la simetría de los muros, están tal cual se trazaron en aquella época. La restauración en realidad que sobre su 20% recae en algunos muros, donde van a apreciar los adobes hechos de peru. Recuerden que los Lima emplean más, por eso los adobitos se pueden ver claramente.
Inside that hole, we found many offerings. Some dress, fabrics, textiles, ceramic figures. Was probably this case. These people give a culture say, I give you this present because I want more rains. I want more agriculture. I want more food. What's the bet? And the priest in this moment was sitting in one of the idols. In front of you now, you see the real color yellow. I told you the first moment. This old temple Huacapuchana was painted with the color with yellow. For the yellow, they use this mineral, limonite, is the name of the mineral, limonite. This is original. The old walls in that moment was similar that, or was saying that. Okay? This way. Inside the vessels, Lima culture food, chicha de jora. What is chicha de jora? It's a ferment alcoholic with corn, C-O-R-N. That is the original fiberglass, but I try to say if you saw the original in some rooms, was probably in that room we had a roof. Was for the roof. Okay? Behind you. Now, what happened with this culture, with Lima culture? We had a problem with the oil. What kind of problem? El Niño. For that, some people need to went to other areas. But a little group of people about this culture Lima was here. And then came here the second culture that was Wari. That is Wari culture. Wari culture was from Ayacucho city. This city is in the highland, in the mountains in Peru. And that was the first empire, militaries. In this case, Wari culture was extended to the south and then came here. And what happened with this culture, with Lima people, who was a little people around here? For them was easy, blacks dominated. And just this temple, and for them was a cemetery. In this case, we found 82 tombs. Inside these tombs, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 bodies in only one tomb. But what happened? In these old tombs, we found babies. The babies, in this case, was between 1 to 5 months and was killed, was sacrificed. People throw stones in this area here. Why? Because they believe, because there was a baby, probably they remember the route to the next life. And the adult people who was 45 years old when he was died, natural died, forgot in this time. The baby is going to be the tour guide. The baby is going to demonstrate a route to the next life because they believe in the reincarnation. For that, with the same way, these people was buried to the offerings because they believe it's going to use these offerings in the next life too. Okay, that is not originals. This is fiberglass. Only in this case we try to demonstrate how we found the bodies, the position about the people or the mummies. Okay, photos and this way.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, some cool pots as well. You like pot?
Fiberglass, right?
It's fiberglass? The fuck?
Oh, they're reproductive.
It's not pink.
Fiberglass is just a resin.
Thank you for listening. I don't know what I'd do without you.
This one's in English, so that's not on me.
No, yeah.
used this temple for ceremonies, rituals, and cemetery. In this case, the first god, the first divinity for day was the scepter. It's in the middle. The name of that stick, the name of that scepter, the name of that god or divinity was or is Pachacamac. These are two words in Quechua, Pachacamac. What means Pacha, earth, Kama, creator, earth, creator. They believe when he was angry, he moved his head and created tremors and earthquakes. They believe that this divinity created humans and cure illness and predicted the future and knew the past. In this Celtic culture, no more sacrifice babies, no more sacrifice women. Sacrifice what? You see, the animals, the frogs, or the frogs. Because I told you before, in this city in Lima, no rains, only drizzle. 10 millimeters a year. For that they said, okay, this animal live in the rivers. If we sacrifice more frogs, more rains, more water. That was, in this case, the last culture. That was Ishma culture. And I told you, you see how we found the temple before 1981. You see, it's probably under that it's going to be similar this. Okay? So now please, we need to go to the next area. And in the next area, you are going to see some llamas and alpacas, guinea pigs, the duck, some plants, the cotton tree, the coca tree, and the all that you see in this area, these people, this culture used for eat, or used, for example, the cotton used for the textiles. Yes? Photos if you want, and in this way. café. In Peru, it's food. Okay, so in this case, please, you see the jack or yuca. You need to know in Peru we have 3,500 kinds of potatoes. Okay, this way, this is the corn. That's another kind corn. See the chiles? Quinoa, quinoa. Quinoa too.
3,500 pounds of potatoes. This is crazy. These guys were agricultural geniuses. Should be slicing and splicing. Now, stick two different types together. Grow a new one. That's so sick. Well, I mean, at that point, all you need is 2 potatoes, and then you can have an infinite number. Yep. Until you get tired, it's like, how many times can I do it? I get. They just aren't different anymore. Yeah, like eventually, there's no more combos on the rainbow or the color spectrum.
Okay, so now I tell you before the name of this fabric. And it was used for build this temple is adobe. The name of that adobe. And in this case, the materials they used to prepare this adobe, they used water, sand. They need to break some vessels and crush seashells. Seashells is a limestone. This is the mortar, the glue. Then they mix the materials, mix, and only use this by hands, not use mold. By hands, no mold. And then put these adobitos on the floor, sun dry. 2 or 3 days if the sun, or 2 or 3 weeks if they didn't fuse. Okay? So in this case you need to know the people was a short people, similar mannequin, short or small people. See? So please one more point and then we finish. If you want photos and then this way, okay? One more point, this way.
Compared to our recent dinner. Those dinners in Cusco, though. Yeah. Whew. We'll try our hardest.
Okay, so now, in this case, when these people, Lima culture, is going to have a new priest in this temple, this culture, Lima, used to do important ritual. We're going to imagine this mannequin is going to be the new priest. See, with this stone, need to throw, need to break that vessel. Inside that vessel, put chicha together, and he and the old people then is going to fill, or it's going to cover, or it's going to bury these old rooms with golden sand, river stones, and then build a new temple over last temple. Other time, we had a new priest repeat the ritual, cover the roofs, and for that I told you before, the pyramid is solid. For that, this old temple is solid. For that, we don't know exactly how many mud bricks, how many adobitos we have in this temple. For that, for build this temple approximately 300 years. But what he tried to say here with this option? He tried to say, I am better than you. More power, more heart, more strong, more intelligent. For that I build over you. Who? The last priest, the last temple. Okay? So now please, my tour is finished. Thank you so much. If you want to give tips to your guide, I will appreciate it. I'm going to be beside the rock. If you want more time for photos, you can do it. Take your time. I would like to see you in the next 40 years. We will finish with excavation. Okay, photo please now. Photo if you want.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was great. Thank you so much. And I took some photos and videos. Is that okay if I post those online? That's okay? Thank you.
No problem. Gracias.